Atlantis was first mentioned by the philosopher Plato in his two works, Timaeus and Critias, around 360 BC. In those writings, he talked about the corruption of nations and the idea of an ideal state. The legendary name, Atlantis, was said to belong to a vast island located in the Atlantic Ocean, across from what we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. It was described as having mountains in the north and along the coast, and wide plains to the south. And then, in just one fateful day and night, the entire island of Atlantis sank deep beneath the sea, believed to have been swallowed by a massive tsunami. Thousands of years later, Richard Ryan, head of a Harvard research team, said that the destruction was indeed the power of the tsunami. He wondered how Atlantis could have been torn away from the continent nearly 100 kilometers. From 2009 to 2010, his team used satellite images of a sunken city north of Cadiz, Spain. They employed ground radar, digital mapping, and underground scanning technologies to explore the remains buried beneath the dried marshlands, and discovered a series of ancient city structures that matched Plato's descriptions of Atlantis, spread across locations some 240 kilometers apart. The research group based their mapping on Plato's story, focusing their search around the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean. Ryan said that after the Great Tsunami, survivors of Atlantis might have built new cities. From these findings, he believed Atlantis had been buried under mud for about 40 centuries. Could Atlantis actually be in Antarctica? Many theories have been proposed to prove its existence, though most have been dismissed. The most recent claim came from Sputnik News, suggesting that the civilization of Atlantis may in fact lie beneath the Antarctic ice, a place where the city once thrived before being frozen under eternal ice sheets. Earlier, Russian scientists discovered remnants of a secret Nazi base built in 1942 in the Arctic, specifically on a small island called Alexandra Land, about 960 kilometers from the North Pole. This discovery sparked a wave of sensational new claims about the possibility that Atlantis once existed in Antarctica. Conspiracy theory websites and mystery forums have also speculated that if Nazi Germany could secretly build a base in the Arctic during wartime, then, scientifically speaking, nothing would have stopped them from venturing to the Antarctic as well. According to News.com, a geologist mentioned the theory of Earth's crust displacement, suggesting that roughly every 40,000 years, the Earth's crust undergoes major shifts that change the positions of continents. Based on that, around 80,000 years ago, Antarctica might have been located much closer to the equator, not yet frozen, and could have been a suitable place for prehistoric humans to live. Supporters of this theory believe that during prehistoric times, the civilization of Atlantis flourished until it was wiped out by geological shifts and the onset of the Ice Age. NASA later released new images from its Operation Icebridge exploration program in Antarctica, revealing what appear to be traces of an ancient city, including roads, canals, and large cave systems that could have served as shelters. Some even claim that a pyramid-like structure resembling those of the Aztec civilization in Central America can be seen rising from beneath the ice. In ancient Port, the legend of the Aztec origins is also mentioned. It tells that their ancestors fled to Central America from a faraway land in the south called Isla, after it was destroyed by a natural disaster. So far, NASA has made no comment on these claims, and mainstream scientists continue to reject the existence of Atlantis. The mystery of the Atlantean people remains. It is said that a terrible catastrophe struck in broad daylight. Panic spread everywhere, people ran in all directions. Some managed to hide inside bright, deep caves, but the entrances only opened for a chosen few. The vast majority were left behind, sharing the same fate as their continent, swallowed by the sea god. That, according to legend, was what an old Native American chief once told Colonel Jim Harrison, a German officer deeply passionate about scientific exploration. The colonel immediately connected the tale to the mysterious disappearance of the lost continent of Atlantis. The elder even spoke of an ancient tunnel system that once linked the New World with Atlantis itself. His tribe, the Pariah, had lived for generations in the rainforests between the Rio Acre and Orinoco River basins in Brazil. The Pariah called their village Aztlan, descendants, they believed, of royal and powerful people who escaped the destruction of the Atlantic homeland. After that ancient cosmic disaster, Colonel Joseph spent years tracing countless ruins and legends in his quest to uncover the truth about that mythical yet real underground kingdom. Funded by the Grove Science Foundation in Munich, Joseph eventually reached the Pariah tribe. There, he also discovered a copy of an old document dated 1734. It described how a group of Portuguese soldiers once found part of that mysterious tunnel on a sheer cliffside. According to the manuscript, the brave explorers decided to follow the tunnel to make contact with a white civilization said to live below the Earth's surface. One messenger was sent back on horseback to Rio de Janeiro, where the expedition headquarters was stationed, to report their discovery. The rest pressed on into the depths, and were never seen again. The messenger, after completing his duty, suddenly dropped dead for unknown reasons. After spending 3 months living with the Pariah tribe, Joseph decided to continue his search for the lost city, leaving one last message for his wife back in Germany. From a small Portuguese mission near a remote Cuban village, the colonel mysteriously vanished. Later, others came to Brazil, explorers and scientists, to continue his unfinished work. But most gave up midway, fearing for their safety amid rumors of bloodthirsty native tribes. Only the American archaeologist and philosopher Raymond Lee spent many years investigating Joseph's case. Eventually, he claimed to have found evidence proving that the brave German officer was not killed by the natives, but rather, that he had succeeded in his quest. Colonel Joseph, Lee asserted, had indeed discovered the great underground city and the entire hidden kingdom of Atlantis, but he was never allowed to return. I believe one of the entrances to the tunnels leading to that underground world still exists somewhere along the Rotunda mountain range in Brazil, said Alec McClellan, a modern explorer renowned for his research on Atlantis. He insisted that the underground settlements beneath Brazil were not products of fantasy. In the mid-1980s, McClellan even submitted a report to the U.S. government under a scientific exploration program sponsored by Washington. He wrote that the entrances to the tunnel systems near the Canadian Rockies were heavily guarded by small but incredibly strong native tribes. Their sense of smell was so sharp that anyone attempting to enter the underground world risked their life. By day they stayed hidden in caves, and by night they patrolled the forests. They were not part of the underground civilization, only its protectors. I had to end my search for the tunnel entrances, McClellan later confessed, because I knew that anyone who went down there would never come back. The tunnel systems, he said, were built with such precision and harmony with nature that even the most advanced electronic reconnaissance aircraft could not detect them. Many tribal elders confirmed that these underground tunnels and caverns exist not only in South America but across other continents as well, especially throughout the United States. Yet, the words of the learned scientist Mark La, spoken over 40 years ago, were met with indifference and caution. All documents related to the so-called underground kingdom of Atlantis were quickly classified as national security secrets, just like early reports about extraterrestrials and unidentified flying objects.